Welcome to the comic book chat show, citizen. I thought we might have a look at sidekicks in general, as well as some of the most popular examples. In my opinion, there are three main elements that shape a superhero: their origin story, villains, and supporting characters. No supporting character is as close or tells you as much about a hero as their sidekicks. If you take a look at the first couple of decades of comic books, you will find that sidekicks were much more popular then than they are now, partially because sidekicks tend to be younger, and the big publishers decided that endangering young sidekicks wasn't setting a good example. The relationship between heroes and their sidekicks have also become more complex in recent years. So let's first look at the Winter Soldier, aka Bucky. Bucky is of course Captain America's sidekick. He's well trained by a few of the world's special forces, but has no superpowers. Bucky had a long run with Captain America, which comes to an end around the end of the Second World War. What happened is that Baron Zemo tries to destroy an experimental drone plane by attaching a bomb to it and launching the plane. Bucky tries to defuse the bomb, but it goes off. Captain America falls into the North Atlantic and freezes into the ice, where the Avengers find him years later. Bucky is presumed dead. However, what really happens is that the Soviets capture and brainwash Bucky. Bucky is reintroduced much later as a Soviet spy and assassin, the Winter Soldier. The movies have been borrowing from the comics here, but not copying the story completely. The second Captain America movie is called Captain America the Winter Soldier, so I'm guessing we will see the Winter Soldier in that. Secondly, Superman's sidekick. Some argue that Supergirl is Superman's sidekick. Others feel that Jimmy Olsen has the right to call himself Superman's sidekick, or perhaps more precisely Clark Kent's sidekick. I've always liked Krypto as Superman's sidekick. Krypto isn't as strong as Superman, but he has better hearing and smell. Krypto also has human-level intelligence and is completely loyal to Superman. Loyalty is the reason I prefer dogs to cats. Can you imagine a super cat? That's not a cat, it's a woman in a cat suit. Not the same thing. Thirdly, Hit Girl. I love Hit Girl both in the movies and comics. The Hit Girl and Kick-Ass comics are very violent, with great use of comedy and an excellent storyline. Hit Girl is comfortable with the world of violence, much more so than Kick-Ass. In the comics, she starts training Kick-Ass to be a real hero. However, Kick-Ass is more emotionally mature, displaying better judgment than Hit Girl. Together they make one Kick-Ass hero team. I do have some concerns about recommending that you buy the comic book, because I have a feeling there may be some major spoilers in there for the upcoming Kick-Ass 2 movie. Fourthly, Speedy. Speedy is Green Arrow's red-clad sidekick. Personally, I don't get Arrow-type heroes, but they get enough ink, so someone must love them. Perhaps it's that these heroes are very human, and the creators can explore some human adversity. For example, Speedy at one point has problems with drug use. Fifthly, Jubilee. I grew up on the X-Men TV series, and I always thought of Jubilee as Wolverine's sidekick. The giveaways are that she is a teen, and that her mutant superpower is shooting sparkles out of her hands. Look out, it's a sentinel, shoot some sparkles at it. Number 6, Robin. In my opinion, Robin is a major contributor to Batman's success. As a team, they just appeal to a much wider audience. There have been a few Robins. The first and best was Dick Grayson. He's from a family of acrobats. His family gets killed by a mobster and Batman adopts him. They grow to be very close. After his run with Batman, Grayson goes to work with the Teen Titans. There he grows up and changes into Nightwing, eventually going it alone. The second Robin is Jason Todd. The problem is Jason Todd isn't nearly as popular as Grayson, and the writers know it. So what they do is to put Todd in a dangerous situation. Then they have a telephone poll to see whether he lives or dies. The fans pull the trigger, and so the Joker kills Todd. He however later gets resurrected as the second Red Mask. The third Robin was Tim Drake. With him, the creators clearly wanted to avoid the popularity problems Todd had. Tim first convinces Alfred and Drake that he should be Robin before earning Batman's approval and also ultimately the approval of the fans. Tim turns out to be a better detective and more skilled with technology than the previous Robins. He eventually retires from being Robin. The fourth Robin is Damian Wayne, the son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul. Damian was trained by the League of Assassins to take over the world. Batman only finds out about his son when he meets Damian as a teenager. Damian has some skills, but he's also a bit of a punk. If you ask me, it's just a matter of time before he gets killed or goes evil. Number 7. Kid Flash, aka Wally West. After Robin's success, DC Comics introduced Wonder Girl, Aqualad, Speedy, and Kid Flash. These sidekicks would later be spun off into their own super team, the Teen Titans. When Wally West graduates, he decides to retire Kid Flash and have a normal life. Wally is, however, forced back into being Kid Flash during the Crisis on Infinite Earth series. During the series, the Flash dies and Wally West decides to take up his name and costume. Number 8. Green Hornet and Kato. Kato knows the martial arts. He makes gadgets and design cars, and he's a great driver. The Green Hornet has money and shoots people with his gas pistol. They form a good team, but I have to say Kato is the cooler character. It's very rare for a sidekick to have greater appeal than their hero. Number 9. Bob, Agent of Hydra. Bob, who played Deadpool's sidekick for a while, is one of my favorite Marvel characters. Bob joins Hydra because he heard their dental cover. Turns out, no dental cover, and they pay their minions $40,000 a year. Bob finds he doesn't like Hydra and starts a blog to vent. Agent X gets kidnapped by Hydra and Deadpool goes to rescue him. Deadpool comes across Bob and orders Bob to take him to Agent X. Bob refuses because he doesn't believe that Deadpool will hurt him. Deadpool does in fact hurt Bob twice because he has so much fun doing it the first time. To make a long story short, Bob ends up joining Deadpool's team and they make an hilarious duo. Number 10. War Machine. War Machine is very different from Iron Man. The Iron Man suit is a clean, fast weapon that uses a lot of energy weapons, while the War Machine is all about guns and power. There is also major differences in personality between the narcissistic Tony Stark and the career military man James Rhodes. These differences are what makes them so compelling to watch. If you would like to watch more of my shows, subscribe to this channel.